Hello everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this video. I hope you're doing really awesome today. So, as per usual, I'm here with another update video in terms of what is going on. And based on the title and the thumbnail, there is a rain surge that's going to be coming up into next week. Slight hints of seeing some potential development, although I'd say the chances are pretty low for that to happen. So a bit of a rain surge is going to bring some cool into sections of the central Caribbean going up to the northwestern Caribbean as well. So we're going to take a look at what models have to show. And first things first though, I do want to implore you to join my WhatsApp channel. So sometimes when it may not be so feasible for me to do a video, based on the fact that I also do other things aside from YouTube work and all that, I may give immediate updates or just a quick update on my WhatsApp channel. So I have left the link down in the pinned comment below, so you can go ahead, click it, and join that community. I will start posting quite often there as we head throughout the season, if there's a case where there any major update that needs to be disseminated quickly. So that is that. Now going back to this satellite imagery here, we can see that there is a bit of action in some places, but we've got some dust that is still lingering around in sections of the Caribbean. It's been pretty hazy for a lot of us, and I'm certainly not enjoying all that Saharan dust, but the advantage is that it helps to keep things calm in the realm of development. But we see a little blob right here in the eastern Gulf, just off to the west of Florida, and also in the vicinity of the Bahamas and even Cuba. We've got some thunderstorm action kicking up this afternoon, along with some heavy downpours. But for other places, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Hispaniola, not much rain at all. A bit of moisture moving through sections of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. But for most of the Lesser Antilles as well, things have been on the drier and quieter side. Likewise, as we head towards the ABC Islands. However, we have got a couple of tropical waves in the region. All this action you're seeing here is in association with one of them. Let's look at the graphic here. So there are several tropical waves actually marked. Four of them are in the Atlantic basin. So we have one which recently entered the Caribbean. Its axis extends into Venezuela. Another one is just off northern South America. So that's where we've got all this action I showed you guys earlier. That's in association with that other tropical wave. Another one pretty offshore, and a new one has recently emerged from Africa. And all the way out here in the Pacific, there is another one. I believe that is marked for development. Actually, let's go talk about that for a moment. So we can see here that we've got two areas of disturbed weather being watched for development. And Amanda, Tropical Storm Amanda, has formed. Now it is in the Pacific. It's not something that is going to be affecting land over the next couple of days. And most of the systems, by the way, that develop in the Pacific are going to miss land. The majority of them do, but there may be a couple which may pose a danger based on intensity and anticipated impacts. But Amanda is not going to be one of them. It's a pretty weak tropical storm. And just in case you're not familiar, so the Pacific hurricane season, that's a different ocean basin from the Atlantic, and it has its own list of names. Amanda is the first name on that list, and that season begins 2 weeks earlier than the Atlantic hurricane season, which it starts on the 15th of May, while the Atlantic season begins on the 1st of June. So here we've got two other areas, and we can see they're both in red, high chance that we could see development. So we could have these systems lingering by Mexico and Central America that can definitely help to increase rain chances, and that flood risk is going to be present as well. So I'll definitely keep my eyes on that. As for the Atlantic, nothing new expected over the next week. No area has been marked on this graphic here from the National Hurricane Center, and this is the latest update as of 1:48 EDT today. So as we head on to the details, though, just to give you a brief overview of Amanda, so we can see the cone forecast for it here. So it has maximum sustained winds up to 40 miles per hour, and it is accelerating to the northwest at 9 miles per hour. So it should remain a tropical storm, continuing on this general trajectory, then moving mostly to the west and then to the west, southwest, and southwest. And eventually it should become post-tropical by Sunday. And as we head into around the middle of next week, it should dissipate and be no more. But we're going to switch focus over to the Atlantic basin. First, let's talk about that dust and dry air. So we've got lots of dry air still around, especially in the eastern Caribbean. So all these different colors, the yellows, oranges, reds, all indicative of that dry air. And when we see more of the vibrant colors going to the reds, that's areas that have a higher concentration rather of that dry air. And in terms of that Saharan dust, so as I mentioned, that's still impacting places across the Caribbean. So the dust has now reached the Gulf of Mexico, going towards Mexico as well, Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Honduras. So you may notice that if you're in any of these places, you may notice it's a bit hazy out there. And then, of course, other places, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, Jamaica has been feeling the effects of this dust as well. We've got some more coming in from the east, so Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, ABC Islands. It's been dry, dusty, and hot, a bit windy for some of us. The wind is surely welcomed anytime it does pass through. Now, looking at the forecast, as we head into late tomorrow, going into Saturday, another plume, not as big, but there is going to be some additional dust plumes coming in, stretching across the northern Caribbean. We've got the residue from the current mass that is affecting the region. And then this next one here is going to be headed in by that time. As we head into Sunday, that next smaller plume of dust is going to be moving in, likely with a tropical wave. Now, as I mentioned that, notice that we'll see the dust clearing up across the central and western Caribbean. A rain surge is also going to be happening in this region because the dust and dry air that helps to limit rainfall activity. It helps to keep things rather stable in the atmosphere, and it is instability that is needed to fuel all those showers and thunderstorms. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the models have to show. We're kickstarting rather with the Euro models. So this graphic here with all these green shadings is indicating the precipitation rate. So this is a forecast as we're going to be heading, well, it has today's date, the 4th of June. So let's go out in time and see what is expected. Notice we're not seeing much color across most of the Caribbean, but let's head out into the weekend. As we head towards Friday, going to Saturday, let me put this up here so you can see the time frame. Notice we're starting to see more of these green shadings pop up around the vicinity of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, maybe even for Hispaniola. And then as we progress throughout time, going into early next week, it's kind of lingering about. So we'll definitely see a surge in moisture. So with the help of these tropical waves coming in, we are likely to have increased rainfall. And I'm certainly anticipating that cool down. It's been so hot, dry, and dusty. We need a break from that. So that is going to be helpful. But as we know, when there's a lot of heavy rain, that can lead to periods of flooding. And then in the Pacific, remember those two areas I pinpointed earlier? Those are likely to intensify maybe into two new storms. And as I mentioned, they would linger by Mexico and Central America. So that will surely increase the rain chances. And if we see landfall of a tropical cyclone, the impacts would have been more exacerbated. But as I mentioned, I'll keep you posted on that. In terms of the GFS model, let's see what it has to show. So as we're going to be heading into the end of this week, going into the weekend, we're also seeing that rain surge and then these two areas developing in the Pacific Basin. As we progress into, well, through early next week, it's showing as if an airflow pressure wants to try and form, but it definitely has that moisture affecting much of the, well, Central Caribbean. So Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Cuba will likely be impacted by that. Eventually, as we head through the week, going into Thursday of next week, it does have something try to spin up here in the vicinity of Cuba and potentially develop. Chances, I would say, are pretty low for that to happen. So I'm not so fixed on development. For now, I'm really watching for that rain surge, but conditions will determine whether or not we'll see something truly materialize as we head into next week. As I mentioned, nothing new is expected over the next several days, as highlighted by the National Hurricane Center. So guys, I'm definitely going to keep you posted in regards to that. And also, as we take a look at the rain forecast over the next day, let's see what is expected. So as I mentioned, there's that little blob in the eastern portion of the Gulf. So we see these vibrant colors indicating pretty high rain totals, but that's going to be offshore. However, sections of South Florida, the Keys, going into sections of the Bahamas, especially the central Bahamas, may experience some periods of heavy rain. Likewise for much of Cuba. As for the Cayman Islands and Jamaica, the rain chance is going to be a little bit higher compared to what we've seen earlier this week, especially with all that dry air and dust lingering. But as we head to the weekend, we'll gradually have that rain surge, as I showed you guys. And then for the Turks and Caicos, much rain not expected up here. Rain chances will be quite low, but we could see some showers and thunderstorms across Hispaniola, which comprises Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and through the Lesser Antilles, so scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we head towards Trinidad and Tobago, we could see a bit more rain. Notice these solid red colors here, maybe up to or over an inch of rain over the next day. Again, we've got a couple tropical waves, and those are helping to enhance the moisture. Northern South America, the Guyanas will be active with some instances of very heavy downpours. Likewise, Venezuela, Colombia, ABC Islands remains in that little dry spot with very limited rain. In Central America, things are likely to be active. Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, sections of Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and even sections of Belize could experience some additional periods of heavy rain, and also as we head to southern Mexico. Offshore islands, the Keys and the Bay Islands, likely to be pretty dry over the next day. But that's what we have going on, guys. So I'll definitely be keeping watch for the two systems that will likely develop over the next couple of days in the Pacific that will linger by, and also that rain surge expected in the Central Caribbean. So that's pretty much what I wanted to bring to your attention in this video, and I trust and hope that you found it to be informative. But if you have any questions, as always, you can leave them in the comments. I'll get to you when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always be weatherwise.